Hi everyone, you lot are getting good at this, aren't you? Welcome to Nice Driving 23. This is the same bridge but from the different direction, and Will's got this one totally sus nowadays and it's lovely to see. The vehicle that's going to cause the obstruction is obviously the biggest one, so it makes sense to let that one clear as quickly as we can, because then we can all get on with our journey sooner. Do you do this? As I always say, situations like this should not need to be brought up in a nice driving compilation. This should be how things should happen in any case. But this does show some good cooperation between both road users. All you ever need to do is hold back until it's totally safe to pass, and this road is causing the problem so it can't. Until the cyclist does this. And even now you've got to make sure it's safe yourself and also still take care because that cyclist could have still fell off. On single track roads, always be aware of your nearest passing place. This may be in front, but it's also just as likely to be behind. And again, be careful if a bigger vehicle comes in the opposite direction. On this occasion, it's quite an easy fix. It was also a great job by this second vehicle that was waiting. They didn't just follow blindly. This is again something that I shouldn't have to put in a nice driving episode. The date is past the date where the new updates to the highway code changed last year. So we're approaching a junction, and a roundabout is classed as a junction. So you should give way to any pedestrians who wish to cross. And my view is the only one who does this. If you didn't realise this, that's a result, because now you do. This clip shows a nice simple fix of a common scenario. And it's also interesting for me that most of these pieces of nice driving involve keeping the correct distances and space, and this is no exception. Well done to the van driver. This is something that's been mentioned before, but it is a game I play. Can you anticipate when other people need to change lanes before they even realise? My viewers sussed that nice and early and accommodated and helped keep traffic flowing. Here's another situation where my viewer correctly gives way to these pedestrians. There's no control box, so this is what you should do. But remember, again, if there's danger behind, it may be safer to carry on, unless they step out, obviously. Here's another great example of anticipating a lane change from someone else before they realise they need to. This time my viewer even changes to the outside lane to accommodate. Don't just watch the vehicle you're following, look beyond them and see if they're catching others up. A high percentage of my viewers deal with people emerging poorly at roundabouts differently than a majority of the other road users. Do you do this? How uneventful was that? But it's a great example. Recognising when you might not have been seen is a skill that good drivers do well and poor drivers don't. This skill can equally be applied to riders, whether it's motorised or non-motorised. It's amazing how much can be learnt from this clip where nothing actually happens. Have a look at the vehicle in lane 1. And what's a bit further up? Is the vehicle in lane 1 catching the lorry? And that's why my viewers moved out. Try and work together for the best flow. Have a quick look around the screen. It might be quite difficult with the screen that you're using, but this clip shows a couple of important things. You should be using your lights whenever possible, and it's really important to cross view. There's a car coming. And my viewer was well ready for it. Now, don't get confused with my viewer dealing with this on the right hand side of the road. This wasn't from the UK, pretty obviously. These tight, narrow streets can be challenging for the drivers of big vehicles. And this clip shows a good example of, although the lorry driver does make quite a big mistake just by following on, it's my viewer that instigates the fix. Have a look when the lorry appears. They should be able to see that they can't clear. But they still decide to come through anyway. But please do appreciate the problems that the lorry drivers have to put up with. It's really difficult manoeuvring in such a tight space with these big machines. Do what you can to help let them flow. I would like to also mention, although we can't see behind, the drivers behind my viewer must have sussed the situation out really quickly also. Unless there was no one there, obviously. Try and be a problem solver rather than a problem maker. What did I say earlier? Good riders appreciate when they might not have been seen. This is a great use of the horn. Nice position also to minimise risk. Top job all round. The clues are pretty obvious in this clip, but I'm sure there's many who would miss them. First of all, the black van in the middle lane looks as though they've got a left indicator on, but why is the white van moving out? Now the grey van driver is dry steering to the right. What do you think the black van further up is doing? Yep, they've broken down. All nicely sussed by my viewer though. Again, this is what should happen, but it does show some good observation where my viewer might have been missed by the majority of road users. I also think it was a great job by my viewer. They showed good caution until they knew the lorry driver had spotted them and it was okay to proceed. And then they got those legs working to help flow. Top job all round. Watch how easily the green van from the left deals with the person who doesn't give way correctly entering the roundabout from the right. Absolute no drama from North Yorkshire Ground Care. Well done, buddy. This is a great appreciation for the problems that other people have got seeing. And my same viewer also appreciating the space that bigger vehicles need. And this final clip is really a summary of a lot of what we've seen today. Appreciate the spaces that are nearest to you. Understand the difficulties that bigger vehicles may pose to the drivers. And always be a part of the solution, not the problem. But there's also an added point to this clip, and it's about an ability to reverse. If you can't reverse maybe 50 or 100 yards back down a narrow lane, honestly, You need to practice somewhere where you can improve that ability. I've seen on many of my clips over the years, the lack of an ability to be able to reverse has made the situation 10 times worse. Perhaps that's for a future video. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you soon.